everybody. Morgan here. I'm joined by Chloe.
Hi, y'all. Welcome
Welcome to the
to the
Student
Student
Zone.
Zone. We didn't even plan that. That just
No, we
like
didn't.
happened organically. That was so great.
I think it's just because we are so excited. I was going to bed last night and I was like, oh my gosh, build is tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
when did this happen?
I keep thinking back to builds of past, builds of yore, perhaps I should call it. This is my third build now, I believe. How many builds have you been to now, Morgan?
Well, actually, I was tweeting about it last night that this is my third build. I wish it was my fourth, but my first build, actually, I was on an internal tools team, and I was told I couldn't go because they only had limited employee tickets and like I didn't count. And I was like, but I want to go. It sounds so cool, and the cool people are going to be there. I was like, next year I'm going to get to go.
Oh my gosh,
So
it's like Cinderella, full circle, finally
it
going to the
totally
build
is.
hall.
And then I got to help with the Student Zone that year, and then the next year was 2020, so I was behind the scenes, being a moderator, and now look where I made it.
Oh my goodness. Well, for anybody who has never been to the Student Zone at Build before, oh my goodness, you are in for a treat. Should we do a little throwback real quick, Morgan, of like previous builds of the past, perhaps?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm going to start out with my favorite memory, which
Okay.
is running into you and Sarah actually in the Student Zone. Now, if folks haven't been to a Student Zone in person before, it truly was the coolest, hippest place to be at Microsoft Build, IRL, and last year digitally. Like, truly, we had some of the more fun sessions on the program, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I remember two things. First of all, walking up to the Student Zone and seeing you singing Disney songs. And secondly, I also remember us having to push away adults, telling them this is the student zone, and all of the circuit pythons here are for the students.
Yes, I certainly remember that too, because at that point in time in 2019, the Student Zone was brand new. And so when you went into the session scheduler, it just kind of showed our sessions alongside everybody else's. And so all of these professional developers had saved our sessions to, like, hey, I want to attend this, which was hilarious because, I mean, I guess it just goes to show that everybody has something new to learn, and that's what I really love about the Student Zone. Is sure, it's for students if you're in higher education and university, maybe you're in high school, but also you could be a career changer. You could already be a professional developer who's just wants to learn a new language or a new framework. And so yes, we did have to kick the adults out of the seats and give priority to students. We unfortunately did not let them take the hardware, but it was pretty funny seeing we were in the main like expo hall area and just seeing these crowds of people because they wanted to be a part of the Student Zone. And so now we can actually welcome everybody to the Student Zone without kicking them out of their seats.
Right. And we should
Students and
also
pro-devs
say
alike.
student is a word that defines a pretty big scope these days, right, Morgan? Like, I think during the
Yes.
pandemic, especially, we've had a lot of new learners and people who are maybe getting started on their coding journey. So, being a student anymore doesn't mean that you have to be in high school or university. I consider myself a lifelong learner, a student of life, if you will. I actually didn't learn to code until I was 25. So it's never too late to learn how to code. And I'm so excited for anybody here in the Student Zone today or anytime over the next 48 hours who's either starting their coding journey, maybe looking into what this programming thing is and trying to find their place in the software world.
Totally agree. I joined Microsoft 4 years ago, and I swear, even in the Student Zone, every single year I learned something new. The session we have right after this is an intro to VS Code and GitHub, which, for the record, I will be attending because they are amazing. And then, Chloe, we're also going to be talking about, let's see, C Sharp, Python, JavaScript, AI, various Azure things like Microsoft Graph, Microsoft Bot Framework. I mean, there's just going to be so many cool things over the next couple days.
And this is just the beginning. I am looking forward to a bunch of interviews that are going to be happening, Morgan.
Yes.
In particular, I am a huge Space Jam fan. I'm really excited for the new reimagining coming out, New Legacy. And our coworker Cecil is interviewing the special effects supervisor Grady Cofer for Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'm so excited because I think that special effects and technology are not two things that you necessarily think go together, but it's a very creative thing and a very technical thing that we get to learn from this interview. So I'm really, really excited to watch that one.
Absolutely. And I think that a couple of our sessions are actually touching on just that, coding in tech is not just about the technology itself. It's all of the intersections it has, whether you're attending our friend Dimitri's session, later on in Build, where he actually shows how you can create art using AI, which is super cool.
So cool.
And then also, can we talk about how coding can literally take you to the stars, as we've got our fun new team swag here, next gen experiences. Yes, we went with the space theme. Yes, I am a Trekkie. I do prefer Star Trek over Star Wars. Don't at me. That's just how it is. But we have a real life, which I feel like sounds so funny, but we have an actual astronaut joining us, Chloe. And the cool thing about him especially is he actually knows how to code. He actually taught computer programming, which I think is so cool.
So, so cool. I think that the coolest thing about working in tech and working in a STEM field is all of the ways that these things integrate. I guess STEAM includes the arts, right? We got to call it STEAM.
Well, there you go.
Should we cut the metaphorical ribbon? I feel like because we're doing the student zone virtually this year, we have to kind of celebrate the start of this, right? So Morgan and I are kicking off the student zone. We're also going to be ending the student zone with y'all. We'll be doing a really fun, okay, this is an exclusive, if you will. We will be playing with some really fun microbit things at the end of Build. So make sure that you come and visit us for the closing ceremonies as well.
Yes.
But should we cut this metaphorical ribbon together to officially start the student zone?
Yeah. And now this is where it gets complicated, Chloe. Do I cut this way or this way?
Okay, let's just cut a long ribbon across. Well, I think it's a ribbon that goes all the way to Seattle where you are to Oakland where I am. So we'll just cut it.
We're just going to cut it. Ready?
Okay.
On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. And that was a big ribbon. Oof. Okay.
I know my scissors weren't very sharp. I had to do lots of cuts. Well, now the student zone is officially open and welcome. And with that, we do have one reminder. Everybody in your chat, you will see the Microsoft Code of Conduct. Please take a minute to read it, familiarize. There we go. It's still the morning, the Pacific. It's really important. We want to treat everybody with respect. We want everybody to have a great time. So please make sure you read that. It is super duper important.
Yes.
And with that being said, Chloe, I am so excited for our guests that we have in our session today.
It is such a pleasure every year. We get the most amazing guests at Build because we get the best of the best for Build, right, Morgan? I mean, we get to meet such cool, amazing people. Last year, I got to meet all the interns that made Microsoft the Musical and Crazy Aunt Lindsay and InstaFluff, all these cool people. But we have some super cool guests today. Shall we bring them in?
I think we should. Let's bring them in one at a time. Our first guest. Oh, and I guess before we do that, Chloe, we should probably remind everybody that now, since we have everyone hyped, that since you're already here, you're going to want to go and RSVP for all of the other Student Zone sessions.
Oh, yes.
It's super easy. You've already found the Build registration site, or else you wouldn't be here. So you can go to aka.ms/studentzone2021, or, you can filter by Student Zone, whatever floats your boat. But make sure to RSVP because we definitely want to see you in our other sessions too. And now that we have you hyped and built all of the suspense, we would love to introduce you to our friend Luanne. Hey, Luanne. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone.
Luanne, this is not your first build. So this is build number 2 or 3 for you. Is that correct?
Yep.
So tell the lovely folks at home, maybe we should start with your build journey. Can you tell us a little bit about your previous builds and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I think I want to say my freshman year in 2019, sophomore year 2019, there was the first student zone, and my dad, who went to build, had previously gone to build, was like, hey, Luanne, you should go to this thing with me, and it might be really cool. So I was really excited to go see it, and I went, and I was immediately like in awe of all the cool, amazing stuff and the really cool people. And I got to meet some amazing people that work at Microsoft, like Scott Hanselman and Sarah Guthels, and they were brilliant. And I was like, okay, tech is for me. This is where I want to be. These are the people I want to work with. It was amazing. And then I kept in contact with Sarah Guthels, and then she asked me if I wanted to do a session with Scott Hanselman the following year. So I did that, was really excited. That was so fun. And then so I was invited to do a session again this year. So here I am.
So how much technology, or what was your familiarity with the tech world and tech before that first build?
Well, my dad works in tech, so I was kind of introduced to it that way. And then in like 6th grade, I started taking computer classes at my middle school where we did like block coding, and just thought that was really fun. Got to make like little games with that. And then I kept with it until high school, where I took a couple of AP classes that were luckily offered at my school, and I got to like learn some new languages like Java and JavaScript, and create drawing apps and arcade games and little pieces of software. I just fell in love with it. And then my freshman year of high school, I went to the Kennedy Space Center, and I've always found space to be very interesting. I love space exploration. But then after going to the Kennedy Space Center, I was in awe and just fell in love with the aerospace engineering side of things. And so I started following NASA on social media, trying to keep up with what all the amazing stuff that they were doing. And then my junior year, I saw on their Instagram story that they were hosting a competition for high school students where you had to build headgear or a multi-purpose garment to help protect crew members from radiation from solar particle events during the Moon to Mars mission. And I knew nothing about any of that, but I still thought it was really cool. So me and some friends, we got a team together, and we ended up being finalists in the competition. So it was amazing.
Okay, wow. So basically you went from being like, okay, this coding cool thing is cool, and then you're like, maybe I'll play around a little bit with this, and then you're working with NASA? Oh my gosh, Morgan, we gotta catch up here.
I know, like, okay, pause. So you decided to remind me again what it was?
We created headgear to protect crew members on the Moon to Mars mission from radiation that occurs during solar particle events.
That is so cool. So how did you even, had you worked with solar particles before? How did you even know where to start?
I didn't know what it was. I'd never even heard of it. I was taking astronomy that year, so at the same time as we were doing this competition, I started learning a little bit more about it, but we had to just like do a bunch of research, and got some team members that knew a little bit more about it than I did, and yeah, just collaborated with a bunch of people.
I love that. Something that I forget a lot, especially when I'm learning something new and it's particularly hard, is every expert started at the beginning. And I try to keep that in mind a lot, A, when I'm learning something new, but B, when I'm making beginner content, because not everybody's an expert, but everybody starts at the beginning. And I just love that you saw something, you wanted to do it, and you just learned.
Yeah, that is really cool. I've always been one of those people where I want to learn, but I don't want people to think that like, oh, she doesn't know anything, or oh, I can't believe she doesn't know that. And so sometimes it's scary for me to jump into something new and to learn and really be new to something. And so I really respect that, Luanne, that you're just like, you know what? This sounds cool. I'm going to do it. So do you have any upcoming plans of things that you're going to work on and do?
Yeah, I am really excited to be going to the University of South Carolina this year.
Congratulations.
Thank
you.
How
exciting.
So I'm going to be a computer science major, and I'm also in the Capstone Scholars Program, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to get to work on some really cool projects. And I interviewed to be part of the school's Formula SAE team, and I got
Wow.
in. So I'm
That's
going to be
awesome.
working on data acquisition and telemetry for them, which is
What?
really exciting.
What were those words that you just said? For the people at home, hypothetically, who don't know what a formula A, B,
Asking
C,
for a
D, E, F,
friend.
G is.
So Formula SAE is like Formula One, which is racing, except it's with electric cars that the students build and race.
Oh
So is
my
that what's in
gosh.
like the background there? I was kind of
Yep,
curious.
that is a driving simulator, so it's for like doing sim racing.
Okay.
How cool.
Luanne is officially the coolest person at the Student Zone at Build right now. And my background is just a sensible Katherine Johnson Barbie, speaking of NASA, but I don't,
Very sensible.
Morgan, I didn't put a simulator in my background. I'm feeling unprepared.
Chloe, I didn't even know I was supposed to bring a simulator.
I didn't get the memo. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Either.
It's okay,
I
Luanne.
did. Oh, I did bring a friend though.
Okay.
I brought Clippy.
I love it. I
Does that
absolutely
count?
love it. That does count. That is
Okay.
a friend.
That's my contribution. Luanne is going to go and build the future generation of electric cars, and I have Clippy.
Well, Luanne, I think next year, so build 2022, I'm trying to, what do you think, Morgan? I think next year she's going to be like, well, I now run and organize all of NASA's, like, I just think that the trajectory here is so amazing, going from having this interest in programming to looking at that NASA thing and going, you know what, I'm going to go do that. I admire your ability to learn, Luanne, and you're a great example for any folks who are out there who are watching the Student Zone at Build this year. Look at what's possible. Your interest can become a really, really cool hobby thing that you end up doing for work. Pretty cool, huh, Morgan?
Super cool. I cannot wait to see what you do, Luanne. You are an inspiration to myself, to Chloe, to so many other students and programmers, and especially, I think, girls who are interested in getting into STEM. What would your advice be for them?
Definitely don't let it scare you. Don't get overwhelmed. And if people try to put you down or say that you can't do it, just ignore them. It's your journey. You can do it. And just like use your resources that are available to you. Talk to teachers. Talk to people who maybe know a little bit more about it. And just go for it.
Couldn't agree more. There are so many times that I want to throw my computer across the room or I go take a walk, kind of like sometimes I solve problems in my head when I'm napping and things like that. But I love that advice to just keep going and keep learning.
Don't let the haters tear you down. And to all the people out there, if you do have haters, send them to Chloe and I, because we'll go all mom bear on them. Because haters have no place here. Everyone is welcome in tech, and everybody is welcome here. Thank you so much, Luanne.
Yep, thank you.
Oh my gosh, Chloe. I feel like I don't know anything.
Luanne's gonna be our boss. Like, we gotta catch up. She's learning too much.
Oh, is that the email that just came through?
The big build announcement is
Luanne is our boss.
The new NASA division. No, but truly, I always, whenever I'm working with our Microsoft student ambassadors or the Imagine Cup or in the Student Zone, I frequently am thinking of Whitney Houston's song lyric, "I believe the children are our future," because, oh my goodness, these students are so smart. These kids are so smart. I know. And we've got another guest. Is that right? Another guest.
Another superstar. Rising in fame, already has accomplished so much. Another one of my personal, she's an inspiration to me. She really is. And I go to student hackathons and mentor now virtually. Used to do it in person before, and hopefully back in person again in the not too distant future. And I see these different ideas and concepts that people come up with. But with our next guest, I really love how she takes that mentality, but applies it to everything that she does and really thinks about use case scenarios and people and how technology, both in a complex way and in a simple way, can lead to really important solutions to problems that we need to solve today.
Yes. Shall we bring them in, Morgan?
We shall. Hello, Nana Abba. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
I am
So excited to have you here.
so excited. Nana, Abba, can you tell us a little bit about your origin story of how you got into tech?
Okay. So it was the sophomore year of my high school, and at that time, I didn't know anything about like tech robotics. So I was selected to participate in a robotics competition. And when we got into like the setting or the place where like the robotics competition was being held, we realized like we were the only women team. So I went to an all-girls senior high school, and like my friends were like, we cannot like not do anything, so we need to like try and do whatever it is we need to do to be able to like at least win something. So in the process of like trying to build a self driving car and a color sorter, like I sincerely got interested in like in the process, researching with my friends and just like passing out ideas. And like we came back to the competition and we were able to like we were like we had I think we placed third place on the competition, and then literally we had 10 teams come along, so it was like from 10 to like, because we thought we were going to be like the 10th because we didn't really, so it was like from 10 to like third, and I was so
On your first competition, that's incredible.
yeah, yes. I mean, we couldn't have done it with my teammate because like we didn't think we could do anything, and then down the line we were able to like push and do something. So that was really interesting. And like coming into college, I had a hard time when I came to college. So when I took my first Java class, it was like the only class that could get my attention for like 3 hours, and so like that was something that I wanted to do like for the rest of my life. So yeah.
I love that.
Me too. And actually, I think I kind of had a similar example when I was in college too, that I went in and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Everybody's so much smarter than me. Do I deserve to be here? And then I actually entered, as we were just talking to Luanne about aerospace engineering. I started college as an aerospace engineering major because love space. Space is amazing. And I was going to do a business minor, but I started taking some of the business classes at my school, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. And so everything's kind of engineering based and tied in. And exactly what you just said, I was going to those engineering and technology business classes and how they all come together. And those are the classes I was excited to go to. I was excited to do the homework for. I excelled on the projects and the tests. And to me, that was kind of like the aha moment, right? That when you find something that you really love to do, not because somebody else expects you to do it or because somebody else thinks it's cool, but really like, yes, this is my thing.
And I think you also make a really great point on Abba about community. Like so much of being part of tech is finding your community and people that you love to create with and that you can talk to and get mentorship from. And I love rallying around this girl power to kind of have your place in that competition and say, hey, here we are. Here's what we built. And I am so excited for everybody in the Student Zone because you are now part of the Microsoft Student Zone community. So welcome.
Welcome to the club. So, Nana Abba, after you did this robotics competition, where did you take it from there?
So one of the things that I've been like very interested in robotics. So I got introduced to soft robotics when I was taking like an electromagnetic class. And it was something that I was really excited about because soft robotics is supposed to be soft, flexible, and made up of like compliant materials that could be placed inside the human body. And like coming from Ghana, I was always interested in like how I can use my computer science to sort of like affect the medical field. And so I started like researching into it, and then I approached a professor and I was like, this is something that I'm interested in. So would you be my advisor? And like she agreed, and like I've been researching ways I could actually use soft robotics to affect the medical field, specifically malaria, and see if we can actually create something that can be placed inside the human body so we can provide researchers with like so much information about viruses or like parasites or whatever that's inside the human body that's causing sickness. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. And for anybody that doesn't know, soft robotics is like this whole other level on top of regular robotics. The materials that you have to use, the coding that has to go behind it, and that's hard at this level, you know, much less this tiny little thing that you would need in order to do something medically. And I got a great demo the last time I visited my school about some of the things they were trying to do with soft robotics, and my mind was just blown. So the fact that you're working on that scale is just phenomenal.
And you know what's really cool, Morgan, is Nana Abba is not only technical, she also loves architecture. So tell us a little bit about your interest in architecture. This is so cool that you have a hobby outside of tech as well.
Yeah, so I'm currently double majoring in architecture and computer science. I love design. I love buildings. I love that buildings provide a space for community. And so it's just like exciting to design buildings. And I've seen some similarities between like computer science and architecture. I realized like in computer science and in architecture, like the back end really involves a lot of work. And that's something that's very similar. And then the other thing is they both sort of like seek to impact millions of lives. So it's basically similarities, but it's just very interesting and nice, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you have to think about the end user, right? And how they're going to use it and what, constraints you have to fill and that sort of thing. And Chloe, as I'm hearing her talk about this, I'm just thinking about AR and VR, and I think that we absolutely need to introduce her to our friend April, because architecture with 3D and computer modeling, and
I was just thinking with architecture and tech, that's going to be some beautiful user experience, some beautiful hardware. I'm picturing Nana Abba's hardware being like the Sydney Opera House, and it like turns into something and helps you cross the street. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Maybe she'll just be like, instead of like Iron Man, she'll be Iron Woman. So she's got like the robotics and the architecture. You're gonna build like yourself a cool tower, and you're gonna stand up there just like wearing your cape and being like, that's right.
Cool.
And what so what's kind of next for you on your journey?
So right now, I mean, I did a project, which is like the Okupi tracker, and
cool.
So with the Okupi tracker, what we did was we designed a technology that can actually track the number of people that come into a room. So due to COVID on campus, we had like some limitation when it came to like the number of people supposed to be in a room. And if you're a student and you wanted to be in a specific room, like we didn't want you to just go there and realize that you can't actually make use of that room. And so that was the inspiration for this particular technology. So what we used was two beam sensors with a Raspberry Pi. And so we have like, with the two beam sensors, if one breaks and like the other breaks, then it counts as someone coming in. And if it's in the opposite direction, it counts as someone coming out. And we have a software that also like keeps track of that. And I'm so happy to have worked with two amazing women to just like make this possible. Yeah, so that's something that we did, and we're hopefully going to like continue this during the summer. So that's something that I look forward to, and also like researching more into my soft robotics device. So that's also something that I look forward to doing this summer.
This is so cool. I feel like we are going to use this when we go back to in-person events. Like this is actually, I just want to track how much water I drink. I just want to put my water bottle through that little doorway.
Ooh, I have a water bottle that does that.
Ooh.
It has an app, and then it's like we can like challenge each other to drink more water, Chloe.
I love this. I feel like we need to open source this tool that Nana Abba did and make our drinking water tracking up.
For sure. And if I remember correctly, Nana Abba, there was something about that you built this piece and another team was trying to build another piece, and there's the potential for interaction of like welcoming people or something.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, oh wait, sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you come again?
Yeah, I was just asking, when you were building this project, I feel like I remember hearing that there was some other team that was building something too, and they were supposed to work together, and not everything worked out quite perfectly. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we had a person working on the software, and I was working like on the hardware, and we had to sort of like bring them together and merge it, which was very hard because I didn't know like the software code. I didn't know like I knew the hardware code. She also didn't know like the hardware code. So one of the things that I learned in the process is like trying to be very like comment or like make comments in your code so like we could all understand throughout the process. And so we weren't able to like connect the hardware to the software, but that's something that we're going to be doing like in the summer. So yeah. that was.
I think that's such a great point to make notes in your code, because sometimes I even look at my own code a week later and I don't know what I wrote. So great
What
tip
was
for
I
anybody
thinking?
out there starting their coding journey. Make sure you put notes in your code.
Absolutely. So, Nana Abba, do you have any advice to other people that are either in high school or college or coding boot camp, or people that are looking to learn and to actually start creating projects like this?
Yeah, I think you should always go into projects being open-minded and willing to learn and just like to have fun. So with this project, I sincerely didn't know anything about Raspberry Pi, and so I went into this project with just like being open-minded, ready to learn and willing to ask questions. So that's something that I also advise. And if you ever frustrated like whilst coding, one of the things that I do is like to dance. I just like leave everything and then just like
Yes.
play some Afro music and just like dance and then come back if I feel like I need to come back. Well, of course I need to come back, but yeah, I do. So I'm just, yeah, that's one thing I would advise that you guys would do.
I think I
Is
need to
dance?
channel
I'm
my
in.
inner Nana Abba, because I should call my Raspberry Pi a Raspberry Cry, because the first time I tried to use one, I was so upset I couldn't get it to work on the first try. So I think I need to like be more optimistic and dance more while I'm coding, is what
Me
I'm hearing.
too. Do you have like a playlist that you could just like send me after this? Because I need some new jams.
Yeah, I do. Definitely, I will.
Sounds good. And then maybe we can have like a virtual dance party or something.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it.
It's important to take dance breaks while you code. Pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip. Well, great. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to have you here as a part of the Student Zone. You are an inspiration for so many students out there. And you just show that, if you just keep working and if you have that hunger to learn and to try new things and don't shy away from opportunities, like you mentioned, you had never done robotics before, and you're like, sure, why not? I'm going to do it. We make it 10th place, but who cares? At least we did it. And then you just excelled from there, and now you're not afraid to try out new technologies and build real life applications, but also bring in other passions on top of just tech. And I think that that is a lesson and a good reminder for all of us. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, Chloe, I think we're going to lose our jobs.
I know. I was literally just thinking that. I was like, oh no, I think Luanne and Nana Abba are going to be the hosts next year. Like, I feel that we're not qualified now.
Were we ever qualified?
Ooh, anyway.
We'll leave that be. Also, by the way, we just want to mention to attendees, we know some of you are having issues with closed captioning. We sincerely apologize for that. We are aware of the issue, and our tech teams are working diligently to get that fixed. So once again, we do apologize, but we are aware. So thank you for letting us know in the chats. And once again, sorry about that. Hopefully we'll have it fixed, especially because we know you're going to want to come watch this session again. So hopefully we'll have it all added in before then.
Shout out to our amazing guests. Thank you so much, Nana Abba, and to Luanne for joining us today. Just perfect examples of students and the impact that you can have in a very short amount of time in your tech career. We've got some catching up to do, Morgan. Oh my goodness.
We have a lot of catching up to do, Chloe. Where do we even start?
Well, first of all, for folks who are joining us right now, they're in the student zone. They're probably going to want to learn all the things that they're going to be learning throughout this. I don't know about you, but I'm a very visual learner. I like to take in the info, marinate it. Morgan, is there a place, perhaps a GitHub repo or a link or a URL where we can check out all these resources later?
I don't know. Chloe, would such a thing ever exist?
I hope so, because I want to see all of the stuff
there
after.
it is.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Amazing. Don't you just love that? Just the magic of technology.
So we have a bunch of links here. We have aka.ms/students@build. That is going to be our Student Zone GitHub, which y'all, I still look at the Student Zone GitHub from 2020. Like I still go back and I reference the talks all the time. So that'll be up forever. You can check out those links. And I happen to have a prop here. the Student Zone Learn collection. Ooh, let me zoom
Where
back.
did you get that?
A lovely Microsoft employee sent this to me. This is our little Learn mascot here. Now, for folks who've never gone on Microsoft Learn
fair.
before, tell the folks about Learn, Morgan. What is Learn other than a really cute mascot?
Yeah, and you have one in the background, Chloe, and I have zero.
I love
Zero,
Learn.
I tell
I love to
Okay.
learn, and I love.
Maybe if I say enough nice things about Learn right now, maybe in the mail tomorrow something will show up, right? That's how it works.
Perhaps.
Well, even if not, I'll still tell people about Learn because it is a phenomenal platform. So if you go to Microsoft Learn, everything is free. It's gamified, so you can earn points for completing different modules and different learning paths. We actually have recommended ones for the Student Zone here. Hello, Doc Sky. Doc Scow. I don't know. We still need to figure out that name. If anybody from the Docs team or Learn team's around and could let us know the name of our little friend here, we'd appreciate that.
I'm partial to Doc, like
I
from
kinda
Snow
like
White
it.
and the Seven Dwarfs, but I don't know canonically what our little Doc's name is. So let
You know,
us
I
know.
think for now, let's just call him Doc. And I think that's great because if you go to Microsoft Docs, you will find all sorts of information there about Microsoft technologies and products and getting started. Let's say you're brand new to coding, brand new. If you are, welcome. You're not going to want to miss the next session with VS Code and GitHub. And the Docs with Doc is a great place to get some instruction on how to download and how to get started. It's completely free. And once you're all set with that, you'll want to head over to Learn and check out all of the awesome modules and learning paths, like I mentioned, that you'll want to get started with. We have a Student Zone collection. There are ones that are actually inspired by, and we did in partnership with NASA. So if you are a space geek like myself and Chloe and so many other people here, that's where I'll be headed after this. So see you there and Learn. We also have some Space Jam inspired stuff as well. If you're wanting to learn the basics of cloud computing, there's just so many great things on Microsoft Learn, Chloe. And it's all free, which just blows my mind.
It's all free. And also, Morgan, we have a live chat going on during all of this. And I just wanted to share a couple really nice notes that we've gotten in the chat during this session.
Did they say they like my earrings?
Ooh, let's see. What are on these earrings?
It's a little.
It's Microsoft. Ooh, it makes me feel like
95.
I'm in a screensaver. We have a comment from Melinda M here that says, these stories are really inspiring and a great reminder that I can be anything I want to be. So shout out to Nana, Abba, and to Luanne, truly inspiring the future coders of the world here.
And Melinda, you are right. You can be anything you want to be. Seriously.
And Bonnie H said, I had a techie that I was a job shadowing tell me you are smart enough for this. So if you are here, you are smart enough. I love that. I love,
yeah,
imposter syndrome is so real in technology. I feel imposter syndrome all the time. I'm sure you do too, Morgan. So if you're feeling like maybe you don't belong here, we promise you belong. This is a place for everyone.
And you know what? Absolutely. And Chloe, I think a lot of times we feel imposter syndrome because we feel like we're not smart enough or qualified or whatever it may be. But I think Luanne and Nana Abba and hopefully me and definitely you are good examples of people having these different passions and bringing them together. And I think that's actually what makes us good at what we do. We don't just code. You have a theater background and you bring so much insight and personality and everything. You teach us how to improv, you teach us how to present, you teach us how to storytell. I don't have a computer science degree, and I've worked in developer related things the entire 4 years I've been at Microsoft. When I got hired, I was like, did you mean to call me? Like, did you mean to call Morgan? Are you sure that you want to hire me? And then they put me on a dev tools team. And I was like, really? This is where you put me? I don't have a CS degree. But I was told that the reason that I was hired is because I had an engineering background in mechanical engineering and management engineering. And then I did a master's in business. but they wanted to bring me in as a PM because they knew I'd be able to understand and skill up on the technology, but that I would be able to communicate with others and that I would be able to bring teams together and understand our users and our audiences and really what they needed. And so really it was those external skills that allowed me to get this opportunity in this job, because a lot of technical skills you can learn. Anybody can learn them. And I think that's our point here is we encourage you to go learn. But don't be shy of your other passions or hobbies or interests, especially the other strengths, because they're what really makes you unique, and you should absolutely leverage those. I've tried to hide those other things before to try to fit in, and I'm just now finding out 4 years into my career here at Microsoft that those are actually the things that make me stand out, and in a really good way.
And truly, anyone can code. Morgan, I think I've told you this, but I have a friend who a year ago reached out to me to learn how to code, and she was a former circus clown. Like literally a Hong Kong circus clown,
Like
performed in the
circus,
nose, lived on
juggling
a train,
the flames,
rode on an elephant, all of that fun stuff, traveled the world as a circus performer, performed in Japan, came back during the pandemic, learned how to code. She started her first week as a software engineer last week. So truly, if you're out there thinking, is this for me? Do I belong? Anyone can code. And we're here to help. If it's low code, if it's no code, if it's super technical backend that you want to learn, we have so many free sessions on Learn and in the Zone for you to check out. I'm so excited.
Yes.
You could have the future Satya watching the Student Zone right now.
We probably do. And Chloe, here we have a bunch of technical skilling stuff, but we've also got a few sessions for people that are interested in a career in tech. We have a panel coming up, I believe tomorrow, or tomorrow our time at least, hosted by one of our team members, Justin. And he's actually going to be interviewing software engineers and other folks that are employees of Microsoft, but work in different disciplines. They build games, they're data scientists, all of these different things. And they're actually going to be talking about their careers and what they do on a day-to-day basis, because there's not just one type of developer, there's not just one role or career in tech. You could be a program manager, you could be a product marketing manager, you can be a cloud advocate, you can be a software engineer. There are so many things you can do. And so don't limit yourself just because you say, well, math's not my strongest subject, or I don't know how to code yet, or there's not coding at my school. Don't let that stop you. There are the resources out there. Microsoft has so many of them. And if you can't find them for some reason, reach out to Chloe and I. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're probably wherever you are. I'm still trying to figure out the TikTok thing, Chloe. So far not going so great, but I have some things to learn. Oh, you know who is on TikTok though? VS Code.
VS Code is on TikTok, as is Scott Hanselman. I learn all sorts of fun tech tips from a lot of our coworkers on TikTok, so I got to get on there.
Yeah, we got to step up our game in a lot of ways, I feel like.
Well, I'm so excited to be in the zone once again, third zone in a row here. Let's see. What is next, Morgan? What can people check out next on the sketch?
On the sketch, well, on the sketch, Chloe, is of course, our session on VS Code and GitHub and how to get started. I'm super excited. I will 110% be there, and I will be taking notes. And then after that, later you can expect some sessions in Python and C#. You'll get an introduction to JavaScript. And then as the Student Zone progresses, you'll actually be able to see how to apply those things to start creating projects. And of course, our fantastic interviews, like you mentioned before, Chloe, and our astronaut friend that April is interviewing, and I am so excited for that.
So my challenge to folks out there who have not contributed to open source before in the Student Zone, my favorite VS Code extension is VS Code Pets. It's basically this little pet that sits in your VS Code instance, like a little Tamagotchi in the corner. They've got a Clippy, they got dog, they got a crab. I would love to see someone at the Student Zone contribute a new character to VS Code Pets. That's my challenge to y'all.
Oh my gosh, please do it. Please do it. Share it on social media. Hashtag MSBuild. Make sure to tag our Imagine Cup handle at Microsoft or MSFT Imagine Cup. Things I should absolutely know, but just search it, you'll find it. And with that being said, Chloe, in 15 minutes, we're going to see everybody else at our VS Code and GitHub session. Grab some water, stretch your legs, do some dance moves.
The student
and
zone has officially begun.
We are so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us for our opening session, and we can't wait to see you at the rest of them. Bye.